Hi, everyone, and welcome to the conversation. With me today is Greg Powers. He is the Vice President of Clinical Services for Discovery Point Retreat. Hi, Greg. Thanks so much for being here today.
Hi, Noel. Glad to be here.
Okay, so today we are talking about the holidays. The holidays are really a hard time especially for people who struggle with addiction. So just wanted to kind of broach that topic and get some of your ideas around that. Why are the holidays such a challenging time?
I think the holidays are challenging for a couple of reasons. One being this is also the time when um, we gather with all of our family, or sometimes we don't have family, and that's just kind of a sore spot or a pressure point for some people. And when that happens, we kind of seek out comfort in other places. Um, that's ultimately, I think that's probably why we see more of an influx of use during the holidays is because of that.
So are you seeing family dynamics possibly trigger more substance use in general, having to do with trauma and family issues?
Sure. So, we would all like to feel like we've got the textbook loving family and stuff, and some people are fortunate that they have that. There are a lot of families that are not like that, and so there's conflict, there's history there, and so that causes all those feelings and all those memories to come back. And so we try um, we try on a regular basis. We try to have that family connection and ability to do those things with the family. And sometimes it just doesn't work. And that sometimes means, okay, I'm going to reach out and try and cope the best way I can. Sometimes that's through substances.
So, talk to us a little bit about isolation, just in general, what that looks like for people who struggle with addiction, and then how that is compounded in terms of creating stress when forced into family situations. So, why the isolation around addiction?
Sure. So, I mean, just going back to that, let's just say, for example, you are um, using alcohol, and that is a coping mechanism that you typically use. When the family calls and says, "Hey, come join us for Christmas Eve or Thanksgiving or whatever," and you know that you're not going to stop drinking, and that means, okay, I'm going to show up at the family event that always causes problems. Instead, I'm just going to stay home. So I'm going to isolate here at the house. So I don't go and hang out with family. I don't go hang out with friends because that causes problems there. And I know that I'm using, I know that I'm drinking and to excess, and I'm not at that place maybe to say I need help yet. So because I don't want to do that and I don't want to hear that from all those outside sources, I'm going to isolate myself and I'm not going to go anywhere, which then causes a great, then we have depression related to that because now I'm isolating. It's the holidays. Everybody else is getting to go and hang out with their family and friends and do stuff. And I don't feel good about myself enough to go do that. So I start getting depressed about that. So it kind of becomes kind of a vicious cycle.
So it sounds like what you're saying is that it forces someone who's struggling with addiction to have to look at themselves through other people's eyes. And that is a very, very uncomfortable space to be in.
Well, it's not only looking at yourself through other people, but you're really having to take a look at yourself and recognizing maybe you're not in a place that you thought you would be or should be. And you have your own set of expectations that maybe you're not being met. And so there's some guilt associated with that. And then, of course, yeah, then I have to listen to my mom or my dad or my brothers or whoever tell me that, I'm not doing what I should do.
So let's take holidays from the family's perspective, a mom, a dad, siblings, what that looks like from their perspective when they know they have a family member who is struggling with addiction, who's coming into the family circle. What are the kinds of struggles they, from their point of view, go through?
Well, I think, we kind of go back to what we were saying a minute ago is, seeing each other, seeing ourselves through other people's eyes. moms and dads, we see the best in our kids no matter what. And so maybe it comes across as arguing with somebody, or causing a fight because I don't want you drinking or I don't want you using, when in reality what that is their love coming across, going, I just want the best for you. I want you to be safe. I want you to be with us as a family and to be able to enjoy us as much as we want to enjoy you. And so it's heartbreak on a parent standpoint, because we just want them to be okay. And the frustration that comes across as a parent, because I can't make them be okay. They have to want that themselves. And, sometimes that comes across as, we're going to have an argument. Well, I'm arguing because I want you to go be okay, not because I don't love you. It's because I'm
Mhm.
scared for you. And so that causes a lot of turmoil. And as a parent, wanting our children, or really any other family member, if it was a sibling, or even as a adult, um, child of a parent who may be in the midst of substance abuse, again, I want that relationship. I want that connection. I want you to be okay. And it's hard on everybody. So when we have our children, or even our parents, who come and things are not okay, it becomes a difficult situation and tends to sometimes get into arguments, and just not what everybody was hoping Thanksgiving or Christmas was going to be like.
So that begs the question then, what kinds of advice would you give family members? Obviously, things like put the alcohol away, which also has to be tremendously challenging, right? A lot of holidays revolve around alcohol. What kinds of advice would you give?
I think you're right. So it's if you've got somebody in your family that's going to be with you over the holidays, and that they um, struggle with alcoholism, for example, then yeah, this is an alcohol-free party. You've got other times that you can celebrate with alcohol when maybe that person's not there. But when they're going to be there, just, you don't have the bar open, and you don't have the wine and the beer on the counter. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not going to bring their own, which they may. And honestly, to it's kind of some advice that I give, even my own family members, is sometimes you need to go where they're at. And so if that loved one shows up with a case of beer, then you go, okay, I'm not partaking. That's for you. And we're going to set maybe some ground rules of, I'm not going to let you walk out the door if you're intoxicated. And so that, sometimes that goes over okay. And it's just like, let me be me. And sure, at that time, I'm willing to hand over the car keys, and I'll just stay here. Um, you're going to run into some problems probably when the beer runs out. Um, but then that you take that one step at a time, and that's really the best advice I can. If it's probably not the time to have that discussion of, hey, I really think you need to go to AA, or I think you need to go to rehab, that's probably not going to go over real well and not be received. I think there's a time and a place for that, and maybe during the holidays that time will present itself. But if that person shows up, that there's a problem, you just you love them and keep them safe. It's the best you can do.
So that segues right into my next question, which is holidays are a time, oftentimes we see our loved one who is struggling with addiction spin out. Um, what do we do when we're in a space where we actually need help? What are those steps? Like, okay, we've taken the car keys, they've drinking all the beer, we're in a bad space, it's obvious. What are those next steps in terms of getting help?
You know, it sounds kind of simplistic, but honestly, it would be as simple as, Noel, you know that this is an issue. Do you want to get help? Are you ready for that now? Um, Sometimes they're going to say, yeah, I know it's a problem, and yes, I need to get help. And then at that point, you start searching out and you find places like Discovery Point and go, okay, let's get you in here and get you the help that you want. Sometimes they're going to say, I don't know, I'm not ready. Then talk to them and go, okay, well, what is it going to take to get you to that point? Sometimes it's I need to take care of business. I need to figure out what I'm going to do about work or the pets or whatever. There are always going to be roadblocks or
Mhm.
excuses as to why I can't go and get help right now. That's why they haven't done it thus far. And as a loved one, what you're there to do is to support and go, okay, well, let's figure that out. So, you need to figure out what to do with the pets. Okay, bring them over here and I'll take care of them while you're gone. If it's work, okay, well, what is it that we need to do to figure out about work? Do you have short term disability? Do you have, what is it that we need to do? If you can knock down those roadblocks every step of the way, then at some point they're going to get to the tired and go, okay, I guess everything is set and I'm going to go. Forcing somebody into treatment is not super successful. It's going to lead to fights. It's going to lead to somebody saying, I don't, this is not what I want. And your job as that loved one is to show them, this is what we all want. And I know that you do as well. And I'm going to be here. I'm going to support you no matter what. And this is going to be difficult, but let's do this together. And 9 times out of 10, that's what they're needing to hear.
So let's talk about holidays at Discovery Point Retreat. They decided to get help. We've brought someone in. What does that look like for someone as they're entering during the holiday season, which is definitely an emotional time, and then the holidays adding to that kind of emotional sense?
One of the things that I always talk to the clients about when it's around the holidays and they're sad and they want to go home and they make all the promises in the world. Oh, I'm not going to drink or I'll come back after the holidays. I remind them that this is one holiday. This is one Thanksgiving. This may be one Christmas out of a lifetime. And how much better that would be to do that sober, that you get to spend the time with your family. They get to experience you and not the alcohol or the drugs. Sometimes that's helpful and it kind of jogs their thought process a little bit about, you're right. I can, we can do Christmas when I get out of here. I do Thanksgiving when I come home because I've got a lifetime to be able to do this. And this is a short amount of time. It doesn't seem like it, and it's very difficult. And we also know that as staff that this is not, you'd rather be home. So we try and make it as homey as we possibly can. Thanksgivings around Discovery Point are a huge, huge event. We have an amazing chef who goes all out. She loves doing Thanksgiving with the facility. So she will, she's already started planning now, the number of turkeys and hams and everything that's going to go with it. I mean, it is 100% one eat fest from start to end. We also invite the families to join our residents and come and spend a couple hours with them, have some turkey, watch the Cowboys hopefully beat whoever it is they're playing. And we kind of do the same thing that maybe you would be doing at home. We still do some treatment in there. We still have some groups early in the morning, but we stop that about noon, and then it's about eating and just having a good time with the people who are there. And hopefully, maybe some of your family members can come and visit us as well. Christmas is very similar to that as well. Um, we do a lot of activities and fun stuff like just making ornaments and things like that. If a client maybe has kids, we'll do Christmas cards or something maybe that they can give to their kids when they come visit or when they get to go home and stuff. So we still acknowledge the fact that it's the holidays, and we try to make it as comfortable and non-treatment as possible. But we are still in treatment. We're still going to talk about those things and recognize the fact that while you're here this Christmas or this Thanksgiving, it's going to be amazing when you get home and you're going to have those opportunities with your family.
And I can imagine for many clients, this would be a rare holiday of learning how to be sober during the holidays, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the things that we try to do in the facility is we really try to normalize everything as possible. When you come into treatment, it's very much a bubble. You're in a safe environment. There's not the opportunity to go drink or go buy drugs. And so we recognize that it's kind of that sterile environment, and we take clients out. And so we do activities. We go bowling, we go to the movies, we go to the park, and things that typically would also include alcohol or drugs. We're showing them that you can come and have fun and still do those things without the substances, and you still have a great time. Most of our clients love the fact we're close to a lake here, and we go fishing and we go and hang out at the lake and stuff. And I can't tell you the number of times clients have gone, this is the first time that I've ever been to a lake without a beer. And I had fun. And we have fun, and we show them, you can go bowling and you don't have to drink and you can still have fun. So we still incorporate that. And it's kind of the same thing we're doing with the holidays. We're incorporating the holidays and activities that you are used to doing under the influence and having fun. You can actually have fun without being under the influence.
Final question. A message of hope for those dreading the holidays. There are many out there who will be seeing this and are in that space of I'm in a dark place, and oh my God, the holidays are coming. What is your message of hope to them?
It is a difficult time, and I understand that feeling. Know that you're not alone in this, that there are other people going through this, and there are people who are here to help you that have gone through this and have experienced the same thing you are, and those same feelings, emotions, everything, and they've gotten through it. And we're here to help you navigate through that, and just, reach out. It's worth it.
Greg, thank you so much for joining in this conversation. I really appreciate your time, and I want to thank everyone who tuned in and listened to the conversation. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, Noel.
Thank you.